Hi, welcome back to the Ask Dr. Renee show here at blackdoctor.org. So, in case you didn't know, first things first, housekeeping. Please share the broadcast wherever you're watching it. Please share. Sharing is caring. Somebody in your family, friend, your Facebook group, your LinkedIn contact, somebody needs this information. So please make sure you share the broadcast. Okay, housekeeping out of the way. So, in case you did not know, June is Men's Health Month. So, May is Women's Health Month, Mother's Day is in May, and Father's Day is in June. So, June is Men's Health Month. And I know here at Black Doctor, there has been several different shows talking about men's health, and I do hear that there's a men's summit coming up as well. Excuse me. And so, but I just wanted to add my little 2 cents, okay? So, men, tune in. Boyfriends, girlfriends, whoever, if you have a man in your life, your uncle, father, whatever, tune in for them. And grandparents, whatever, just tune in. So I'm just going to give some little things that should help us to keep our men around for a longer time. Because I think that's the goal for all of us, right? All of us want to stay around for longer. So starting at the head. I have some experience in this, and many of you do too. You just don't realize it yet. But if you notice that your loved one, the man in your life, seems to be a little more forgetful than usual, maybe it takes longer to get home because, and he never would admit it to you, but he did get lost, or you ride with him and he appears lost. Could you please, please, please don't wait. Make an appointment for him with the doctor. Make certain that if he has to get a referral from his PCP, go to the PCP first. But otherwise, please go see a neurologist and just make sure that he does not have. It could be Alzheimer's, early onset Alzheimer's. It could be dementia. It could be a whole host of things. I give you an example. Man in my life, we'd ride in the car and he would be mid-sentence. And all of a sudden, he would stop talking. And then when he would pick back up, he didn't pick back up. It would be a whole nother topic. And I recognized that was just weird. And so I told somebody, and sure enough, made doctor's appointment. Come to find out, he had a brain tumor that had to be removed. So thankfully, when and what they were absent seizures, I should tell you that. So he didn't shake or anything. But thankfully, even though the only time that I ever recognized this happening was when he was driving, he never caused any accident. Like he never did anything on the road that made me alarmed. It was just that we were talking and then all of a sudden he cut off and then came on to something else later. So it was just strange. And his face would not twitch up, but I don't know. It was like he stopped talking and then that was it. It was strange. Okay. But yeah, so this was something that I noticed and something I brought up. And sure enough, I was right. Something was there. So you never know. So if you could please. The other thing is, and I think that we talk about this a lot, mental health is very important. And the last thing that we are going to ever do in life again is call somebody crazy, right? We're not going to do that anymore. Everyone has different reasons why they have whatever mental health issues they do have. I think that probably every one of us probably does have some sort of mental health issue. So if you need to encourage your the fella in your life to go seek help, please encourage it. And then if you find out that he, for whatever reason, has decided to go seek help of a therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist, do me a favor and please don't belittle him. Don't make fun of him. Don't, emasculate him. Just be thankful and, supportive because that is a huge step. We know that our men tend to ignore these things. And you can look at the statistics and see that the numbers of Black boys committing suicide has increased tremendously recently. And so we want to make certain that we support the men in our lives, young and old, if this is something that they might be dealing with. Another thing that tends to deal with the head. So if your man has, he shaves his head, his face, whatever, and he has bumps and stuff, I know a lot of men that actually are self-conscious about that. Make an appointment for him for the dermatologist. Nudge him a little bit and tell him this is what you need to do is go to the dermatologist and figure out what needs to be done, because these things can be treated and avoided. So that's another little tip. We're still on the head. If the weather's changing in most of the country, it's nice and warm outside, and so some of our men are mowing lawns and doing all the yard work and stuff. If you notice that his eyes are like bloodshot red, or he is just sneezing profusely, nose running after doing this, he may be allergic. So I would highly suggest you make an appointment for the allergist. There's no need for him to be miserable while trying to just keep up the yard work and keep the house looking nice, the landscape looking nice. So that's another thing. Okay, so now we'll leave the head. Okay, going down. Now, high blood pressure is something that is very, very prevalent in our community. It's not just the men. It's prevalent in our community. So we need to help them with their diets. We need to help them. Low salt, no salt. And just because you say low salt does not mean no taste. The two don't go together. You can use other seasonings to provide fabulous tastes. You just have to know what you're doing. And if you need suggestions, if you have questions about anything that I tell you today, please put them in the chat and we will see what we can do to get you answers, okay? But yeah, please, low salt. So the blood pressure, you really ideally would like your blood pressure around 120 over under 80. But I do believe that the guidelines, 120 over 80, I think. I think that's right. I cannot remember. That's where I would like you to stay. Dr. Renee would like you to stay there. So please, 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 let's try and do that. The other thing that goes into our blood pressure as well is exercise. So why don't you encourage him to take a walk with you? Why don't you encourage him to take a walk by himself? I recently heard that 3 walks a week will lower your chances. This is for people over 65. 3 walks a week will lower your chances of getting dementia by 30%. 30%. So I think that is encouraging for the, seniors in our life to please just go walk. Just walk. And if you just do 30 minutes a day, that'd be awesome. The more you sweat, though, the better it is for your brain health. And that's a whole nother show. But we really need to make sure we keep our brains nice and they say juice, spongy, I think is the term they use. But and obviously you're not going to touch it. You wouldn't know. But please, these are things that can help you. So, there is a myth, and I've talked about it last week. There's a myth out there that just because you get old means that you get forgetful. The two don't have to go hand in hand. There are many of 90 and 100 plus year olds that are sharper than me, okay? Sharper than a tack. So please don't think that the two have to go hand in hand. There's ways that you can work on this. So encourage him to exercise. Encourage him to eat less salt. Sugary drinks, like put those to a minimum, processed foods to a minimum, all the things, because they can be very detrimental. Last night's show with Dr. Toomer talked a lot about the GLP-1s. Perhaps this is something that you in your maybe you need to look into this, whoever men that I'm speaking to, maybe you need to look into this, because the one GLP-1 on the market, Wegovy, they are saying that is for indications for improving heart health. So if you are obese and you've got heart disease, your insurance more than likely will cover it, and you could take Wegovy. The needle is so small you can't even see it. It's once a week. I think that once a week shot to keep you around your family longer is way better than taking the pills for the rest of your life and your life ending much sooner because you have high blood pressure and your heart is working so hard. So that's my story about that. So we talked about the heart. I've talked about weight. You know, we're supposed to eat fruits and vegetables, lean meats, and good carbs. We know that. So I'm not saying that you can't have, whatever dessert is at the 4th of July picnic, or excuse me, next week is Juneteenth, whatever dessert is at the Juneteenth picnic. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that you need to do these things in moderation. You can't have that holiday meal every day of the week or every Sunday. You have to, let's eat right 80% of the time. So then we can have the 20% to enjoy whatever the heck we want to. Okay. So if you need to have a conversation with your doctor about GLP-1s, or if you need to speak to a obesity medicine physician about GLP-1s, then let us know in the chat, because I can refer you to somebody. And we've had several here. We can refer you to someone and they will be able to help you out. Obesity is a disease. It is a disease, and it causes a whole lot of other issues that we're not even finished talking about yet. So now, moving on down, diabetes. Diabetes. If you recognize that you have a frequency in urination, there's two things. Diabetes is one of them. But please, if you go to the doctor regularly, which you should be doing at least once a year, they should check your numbers and they should be able to let you know your hemoglobin A1C, and it should be not in the pre-diabetic range. Okay. And then not in the diabetic range. So you want it to be less than 5. Okay. And so diabetes is serious. And if you have diabetes, I'm glad that you recognize you have. If you have type 2 diabetes, type 1 is an autoimmune disorder, not really a whole lot, you were born that way. That's just what happened. But type 2 is something that usually comes on because of other things. So if you've been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, please know that you need to make certain that you understand how to get it under control, because if it's not under control, that's when you lose eyesight, you lose toes, feet, legs, etc. Okay? Because the circulation issues. So, and if you didn't know, there's blood vessels all through your body. So, kidneys, all of that, diabetes out of control. So please, let's get our diabetes under control. Maybe a GLP-1 is the answer for that. Another way that it can help. Okay. Then, and like I said, kidneys usually is a diabetes thing. Also, it's a hypertension thing. So, unfortunately, I will tell you, there is a shortage of organs out there. So you do not want to find out that you have to have a kidney transplant because of something that you could have prevented. Prostate cancer. No, before I get to prostate, colon. Please know that they've changed the guidelines and you can get your first colonoscopy at 45. Most insurance companies are aware of this, so they will cover it at 45. Let me tell you, I've had a colonoscopy. It's not a big deal. Take it from someone who tolerates zero pain. I'm the one every month that is on my Aleve regimen seriously, because I don't do cramps even. I don't do pain. So it's not that bad. It's not bad at all. I mean, the worst thing is not being able to eat, but if I intermittent fast, so I'm used to go fasting and not eating for periods of time. So it wasn't even a big deal. And they do let you eat. You just can't eat food. So like I drank beef broth and I ate Jell-O, and that's how I got through the time. I know that you've watched the commercial for Cologuard. I know you have. My biggest gripe with that is that Cologuard is going to let you know if there's something there already, like you've already, unfortunately, maybe have colon cancer. Colonoscopy is going to allow the doctor to look at your colon and see if you have any polyps that could potentially become colon cancer, and they'll remove those so that you don't have any chance of getting colon cancer. So wouldn't you prefer to find out ahead of time and get rid of it, so then you don't have to worry about it. Then when you get Cologuard, and then they send you for a colonoscopy to confirm what they already probably thought. So please, please just get the colonoscopy. Just get the colonoscopy. It is not that big of a deal. Yes, they put a camera in your behind, but you are asleep. And by the time, I mean, literally, I think it's a 20-minute procedure. You will go to sleep, and it's such a good, beautiful sleep that you wake up very refreshed, and like you think it's another day, and it literally was like 20 minutes has passed. So get the colonoscopy. 45. Now, let me give my disclaimer. If you have done what you were supposed to do, and you know your family history, and you know that someone in your family had colon cancer and was diagnosed at 40, then you need to start getting those colonoscopies at 30. And when I say someone, I'm talking about your mother or father or sibling. So a first line relative. So you need to start at 30. Colon cancer is really scary because honestly, by the time you see the symptoms, it's probably too late. But blood and stool is like the biggest symptom. Fatigue. If you have low hemoglobin, they have no idea where the blood is coming from. It could be that. Just so there's a lot of things. But really, let's just get screened, so then we don't have to worry about it. Okay. And guess what? Once you go and have your colonoscopy, and if they say you're good, you probably don't have to return for another one for 10 years. So come on, we can do this. We can do this. So, so that's the colon cancer. Now, mind you, there's all sorts of organs in between here and here that, and lung cancer is something. Please don't smoke. Nicotine is awful. It's awful. And smoking is just not good for you. Okay. So, and I think we know that, that we know that. So please, especially if you have diabetes too, on top of that, please don't smoke. So prostate cancer is the same as colon cancer. If you have a father or brother that had prostate cancer, you need to find out what age they were diagnosed, and then 10 years before that is the age that you would have to start getting your prostate screening. So nowadays, they don't usually do the bend over and cough thing. They do a PSA, but honestly, I think that I would probably prefer the bend over and cough because I want you to feel it. I don't trust, everything, but that's just me. But yeah, and prostate cancer also can be frequent urination can also be a sign, or feeling like you have to go, but then you get there and nothing comes out. That could be a sign too. So please talk to your doctor about prostate screening. Start talking to them. I would say at 40, start talking to them if you have no family history. Start talking to them about it. Prostate cancer is one of the cancers that you can actually live, like they can treat it and take care of you and you'll be fine. But you have to find it, and that's the key. Colon cancer, I forgot to say, is also a treatable cancer. It just has to be found early. And then also increase the fiber in your diet. Fiber, you need to poop every day. You need to have a bowel movement every day, not once a week, not once every other. Every day you need to. And there's all sorts of ways to make certain that happens. But increase the fiber in your diet, and it should naturally happen. And that would also help your colon to clear out, and then you don't have colon cancer. So if you were an athlete in the past, or you're still working out, you're still running and jumping now, then maybe you need to worry about your limbs, your knees, and, and all the parts of your knee and all that kind of stuff. Then please go see an orthopedist and, make it happen. There's all sorts of ways to treat, if you're bone on bone because you have no cartilage left, because you've done your thing, you're working out, you're done your thing. There's ways to treat that so that you're not in pain, and so that you can still move. Because what we don't want you to do is stop moving because you're in pain. Let's go get it looked at. Let's get PRP injections. Let's get something in there so that you can still do what you want to do, your daily activities, without pain. I'm a big proponent for people shouldn't be in pain. So please talk to the doctor, so then you don't have to worry about being in pain. Your feet, another thing that could be in pain. That's the podiatrist. please take care of your feet. And if you can't feel them, you might have diabetes, and I need you to go have that checked out. You might have neuropathy. So please pay attention to your feet. I skipped something. I'll get back to in a sec. But pay attention to your feet as well. Make sure you buy shoes that fit and make certain that you are, if someone notices and says, hey, you're walking a little, listen to them. And, like I said, please check, make sure your feet are okay. Because what can happen is if your feet aren't right and you're compensating, then you can mess up your hip and then your back. And it's a whole thing. So you don't want to do that. Let's hold on to all of our systems and organs and try to keep them going. So if you need to get your feet checked once a year too. Especially if you're diabetic, it's more than once a year. But please, please, please don't tell me that you can't feel your toes, okay? What I forgot was teeth. Please, for some reason, people tend to not think the teeth are important. Teeth are very important. You know why they're important? The oral health, it like leads to our entire insides. So if you have something, some sort of tooth infection or something, that could it could lead up and cause brain infection. It could lead down and go to heart infection. Please make sure you get your teeth cleaned at least twice a year and you have a dentist checking your teeth. Please, oral health is extremely important, and you can look it up. I want to say his name is Michael Williams. Don't shoot me if I'm wrong, but there was a football player. I do believe he was NFL, and last year he died. He had a tooth infection that became a brain infection. So let's take our teeth very seriously. Let's take our oral health very, very seriously, because it really is kind of the gateway to the rest of our system. So we kind of need to take it seriously. I think that's all I really wanted to cover. Like I said, if you have questions, type them in. And we'll try to get you answers as soon as possible. But that's it, and that's all. And I will see you guys next week. And please, Father's Day is on Sunday. So if you are blessed enough to have a father in your life, then please dote on him. And grandfather, uncle, please dote on them and give them a great holiday. Bye.